guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a great video planned for you today. I'm very excited about it. So first of all, we have a TJ Maxx haul. Yay, I'm going to go through and show you all of the great things that I got for super cheap that I'm excited about. And then I'm going to, while I'm testing out one of these products, I'm going to go over with you all of my #1 favorite top 5 health and medical related podcasts that I personally listen to as soon as they come out. And it's helped me in my practice, and it's also just super entertaining. So here you go. Let's get started. All right. So #1 in the haul, I use the Dashing Diva glosses, gel stick-on glosses, all the time for my nails. I love them so much. I got this one for $4.99 at TJ Maxx yesterday, originally $8. And this is, I just thought it was a cute wintertime colors. So super excited to do that. I like the Dashing Diva glosses because they do last and they're very pretty and I don't have to actually do my nails and they just stick and go. It's great. All right, #2, I got this cute little Kopari is the brand because I have used their products in the past and I do like them. So this is the lip scrubby. I purchased it for $6. It does say compared to $7.99, and it may have been even more expensive than that when it, in one of the Ulta stores or other retailers that sell it. So I'm not sure, but $6 was a great price and I did use it today and I really enjoyed it. So happy about that. All right, next up, I got a couple pieces of jewelry. So I really love Kendra Scott, but it's expensive and I don't always want to pay that much. So I found these earrings from Rachel Zoe that are kind of in that same style. I got them for $13. They're really cute, and it says compare at $16.99. So, and again, sometimes when you go to TJ Maxx, like the compare out price might be even a little bit lower than what the original retail price was. So I can't wait to try these. They're also green, which is my birthstone. The piece of jewelry that I'm most excited in this haul is this necklace that I got. Here we go. It's got 3 little charms from it. One of them has a C, like a repeating C's on it, and it's just really pretty. So I got this for $39.99. And this is what I mean by sometimes the prices at TJ Maxx, Marshalls, whatever, when they say compare at, is still even lower than what the original retail price would have been. So for instance, this is $39.99 that I paid for it, TJ Maxx. Compare at $50, but they have the original Coach tag on here, which is saying that it's $125 retail, which seems to be a little bit closer to what you would expect Coach to charge retail for their items. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on for the video today because it's just so pretty. Yeah, see, that's really pretty. Love it. All right, last one for this haul. Very happy. The Jaclyn Cosmetics Luxe Legacy Eyeshadow Palette. Originally, compare at $23, but I'm sure originally it had to be like at least 30 something. But I got it for $14.99. So that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to try this palette out while I tell you what my favorite podcasts are. So let's get started, okay? Okay, so I've got the palette opened up, ready to use, and I want to just show you the colors before I dive in because I think you'll see why I saw it and I thought, oh my gosh, this is perfect for the fall. So here it is. So you've got a really pretty color story here that I think is great for fall. You've got some greens, blues, lots of neutrals. Yeah, I'm excited to try it. So here we go. I'm going to get my hair pulled back. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started doing my makeup. So from number 5 all the way up to number 1. I'm going to save number 1 until the end here for you guys. And also stick around because at the end of this video, I'm going to have a little med pearl for you of just kind of fun facts about medications and things to learn while you're watching the video. So, all right, number 5, top 5 favorite health medicine related podcast. Number 5 is going to be the Z-Dog MD show. I love him, Zubin Damania, Dr. Zubin Damania. He was an internal medicine physician who then left that job to start recording health information, health education, and kind of be a public figure in that way. And I will post a link to all of these podcasts, their channels, in the description box. I really enjoy Z-Dog because he's really candid, and he really does have a very inclusive mindset about medicine with all of the different professions within healthcare, and he appreciates nurses, so I like to listen to that. He hasn't posted a lot recently, but he does have a subscriber sort of channel, and I unfortunately am not on that right now. It may be that he's posting on that and I just haven't seen them, but go check out his old stuff. It's great. It's really, really funny. Okay, so that was number 5. And number 4 is Dr. Peter Attia, and his show is called The Drive. It's a podcast. I believe he's got a YouTube show as well. I really, really enjoy his show because you get to learn really, really detailed information about various health conditions and prevention strategies in an accessible way. And he takes current research, old research, he breaks it down for you in a understandable way. With that, he's got prevention strategies for the long-term chronic illnesses that are plaguing our country, such as diabetes, heart disease, etc. He goes into a lot of women's health stuff too, which I really enjoy. He talks about hormone replacement therapy, that kind of stuff. He talks about what labs you should be getting as kind of your monitoring labs if you're just health conscious and want to keep track of everything. That's going to include like your lipids and cholesterol and things like that. He explains it really, really well. He explains it why. He has these wonderful fitness routines that he recommends for longevity, and that really is the kind of point of his show, is focused on longevity and living a full and healthy life as you get older and to really age in a comfortable way. He does have a book as well. It's called Outlive by Peter Attia. I have not started reading it yet, but it is on my list. So check him out. He's hugely popular. Pretty much everybody that I'm talking about on this video is really, really popular, but they're good for a reason. And I really like to keep tabs on what he puts out. So that's Dr. Peter Attia. And one more thing about him that I really enjoy is that a lot of the content that he talks about is stuff that is popular in quote unquote the bro science space. And I'm not like a huge fan of that word bro science because it implies that it's like only a bro male thing. And while I'm not able to at this point in my life be extremely regimented in everything that I do, I think that I do find that kind of thing helpful as far as this is the reasoning behind different patterns of eating, patterns of sleeping, wake cycles, and exercise patterns. So like I said, I don't like calling it bro science because it should be accessible to everybody. And that is exactly why I like Dr. Peter Attia, is because he does that. He makes that possible. He's super popular amongst the bro science guys, but it is very accessible to the average person. All right, moving on. So that was number 4. Number 3, speaking of, and don't be mad at me, everybody, or Dr. Huberman. Don't be mad at me, Dr. Huberman. Speaking of bro science, number 3 is Dr. Huberman. And his podcast is called The Huberman Lab. It is very similar to Dr. Peter Attia, but it is a lot more like structured as a lesson. So he himself is a neuroscience professor at Stanford, and he takes that method of teaching and puts that into the podcast. So each podcast you get a really comprehensive lesson on whatever the topic is going to be that day. Usually they're neuroscience based because that is his specialty. But there's other stuff that comes in there. So he interviews different experts in various fields. He goes over very specifically why things are either good for you or not good for you, or health maximizing or not health maximizing, and how you can get the most out of your health focused routines. Really, really, really enjoy that. It can be a little technically heavy, and you have to pick and choose what you're gonna implement and what's gonna work for you in your life and what you're not. But his aim and his mission goal is to do all of this at a no cost. Like, he wants to spread health information that is zero cost. So check him out. There's a topic for everything. And I personally have learned a ton about mental health, addiction, sleep-wake cycles, hormone timing throughout the day, things like that that have been extremely, extremely helpful for me in my practice as a nurse, not just personally. So next, number 2, kind of goes a little bit in the opposite direction of the first 3 that I talked about, or at least Dr. Peter Attia and Dr. Huberman, because they are a bit more about social sustainability and personal sustainability and inclusion and diversity, and I really enjoy that too. So this is going to be the podcast. It's called Maintenance Phase with Aubrey Gordon and Michael Hobbs. I adore them. I absolutely adore listening to them. They themselves are not scientists or healthcare workers. They're journalists, and they are, I think they would call themselves, public, more of like a public health kind of thing, or community organizer, community advocates. And of course, I'm probably not giving them any credit or justice for what it is they actually do. But Michael Hobbs is a current journalist, and then Aubrey Gordon has published a couple different books, a couple different video content about just fat phobia and fighting against fat phobia and fighting against the big obesity industrial complex. And so each episode goes through a different topic in the weight loss space, a different book, movie, documentary, whatever that involves talking about fat people, and they break it down in a really, really beautiful way to either discredit it or give it some credit or what have you, in a way that is body positive and fat body positive. And I really, really enjoy that because I am somebody that likes to try new things. And of course, I always want to try the newest diet, but listening to them gives me a really healthy balance between chasing that and being happy with who I am. And I have gained a lot of joy and inner peace listening to them and balancing that with the really regimented ways that you can maximize your body and everything that it does. And they're both just hilarious. They're great, funny people, and I'm here for it. Love them. Love, love, love. I think that if you do tune in, you're going to be like, yeah, these are my new best friends that I just want to listen to. So they publish every couple weeks, I want to say. They're pretty in-depth episodes, so I understand why it takes them a couple weeks to put stuff out. But anyway, so far, let's take a pause before we get to number 1 about the makeup. I'm really loving this palette so far. I've got like a brown, dark green kind of situation in the crease. I put some gold on the lid, and then now they have this pretty shimmer, like baby blue color that I'm going to put more on the inner corner. Oh my goodness. Wow. That is a lot more pigmented than I was expecting. Okay, well, that's okay. We can blend that out. Wow, that's very, very pretty, but I feel like I need to balance out the crease a little bit with this. So yeah, if you guys already listen to these podcasts, please let me know in the comments. I want to hear your opinions. I want to hear what you think about my appraisal of them. All right, so the mattes are not blending out quite as easily as I would like. So I'm just going to keep working on it. Yeah, that's something. It's there. This blue is gorgeous. It's a lot more pigmented than I was thinking it would be, but no big deal. Okay, now last but not least, my my number one favorite health related podcast that if you guys know me personally in real life, you'll know that I don't stop talking about them. I love them and adore them so much for so many different reasons. So number one is, of course, going to be This Podcast Will Kill You with Erin Welsh and Erin Allman Updike are the hosts. I will not be able to say enough great things about them. So this is a podcast that is about, each episode is mostly like an infectious disease, some other health condition, and they go into detail about number one, what the illness is, what the biology of the illness is, what the history of the illness is, and then what the current state of the illness is all across the world. And it's really, really great. You get great detail. Questions that you are thinking while you're listening to this are asked by, whichever is not currently presenting. So here, a little background on these guys. So Erin Allman Updike, and I think she might be doing like a family medicine residency, but prior to her going to medical school, she and Erin Welsh, both of them were in a disease ecology PhD program, I believe. Now, of course, I may not be getting that 100% correct, but I do know that they were doing disease ecology when they met, and I do know that they both have doctorate degrees. In this, they were studying insects, they were studying carriers of illness, and just really in-depth learning about all of that. They've taken that knowledge now and they are publishing it every other week for us. They've been doing this for several years now, and they have just totally enriched my life. I listen to them, again, pretty religiously, and a lot of the knowledge that I have learned from listening to their show, I've used at work. They are accredited for some of it to be used as a continuing education credit. So it is legit information, and they cite all of their sources extensively. So excellent information. The other reason that I really enjoyed listening to them is because you have two women who are right around my same age. They're very relatable, and they're doing incredible work in this space, and they're just super smart. I think that it's really a great thing to see women doing this. So yeah, check them out. I guess I could tell you really quickly like some examples of their episodes. Well, they're all great, but I really enjoyed, they did an episode on vitamin D. I thought that was great. They did an episode on the bubonic plague, influenza. I mean, they have years worth of content and several seasons out, so go check them out. Oh, okay, as a bonus, they're part of a podcast network, which happens to be owned by the creators of my favorite non-health related podcast, which is My Favorite Murder with Karen and Georgia. I talked about this in the last video. I am a little bit basic. I like the things that are very popular, but they're popular for a reason, like we said. So MFM, My Favorite Murder, one of the most popular podcasts, that's out there right now. They're a true crime podcast, but these ladies have created their own podcast network, and the girls from This Podcast Will Kill You are a part of their network. So I feel like I'm kind of supporting both of them, and it's just fun. Okay. All right. I'm going to do my lipstick really quick because I can't do that while I'm talking. All right. So 1 second. You guys, what do you think about this final look? I am not 100% sure how I feel about it. I was going for like a darker, gloomier fall, pretty sort of glam look. And I'm gonna tell you now this little med pearl. So I am a nerd, I think. As far as nerds go, I love random facts in medicine. I love random facts in healthcare. I love just random facts. So I am going to take that nerdiness and make it productive for you and tell you some of the fun facts along the way. So the first one here on this video, we're going to be talking about the medication colchicine. Yay, we love colchicine. Colchicine is an anti-inflammatory, and it is used, I think, you know, if anybody out there is watching and has heard of it, they're probably thinking of gout when they hear the word colchicine. But I have another reason for bringing it up, and there's another indication for it, and that is called familial Mediterranean fever. And the only reason that I know about this, and I'm telling you, is because I am a carrier for it. So familial Mediterranean fever, autosomal recessive illness, and what it causes is basically intermittent febrile episodes. And so colchicine is used for that, to decrease that inflammation. And it's one of the primary treatments for FMF. Now, I'm not a doctor, but this is information that I have personally gained along the way. The other fun fact about colchicine that I really enjoy is that it comes from the autumn crocus plant, and I'll have a picture pop up here of that flower, and it's really, really pretty, and it's really fascinating to me how humans have discovered different plants to heal them and use them as medicine. So colchicine, we're using it for gout, familial Mediterranean fever, flare-ups, and other inflammatory conditions. Now, as far as having this fun little fact, information, nugget of information useful for you in nursing or healthcare, whatever it is you're doing, how it works. So I'll just tell you really quick. I'm going to read off of this, the mechanism of action, contraindications, monitoring, I guess. So the mechanism of action of colchicine, it modulates, and this is taken from PubMed, it modulates multiple pro and anti-inflammatory pathways associated with gouty arthritis. Colchicine prevents microtubule assembly and thereby disrupts inflammasome activation, microtubule-based inflammatory cell chemotaxis, generation of leukotrienes and cytokines, and phagocytosis. Microtubules, now I don't 100% understand without looking at a diagram or reading into this a little bit more how the microtubules are playing the role with colchicine and the inflammatory process, but I do know that microtubules are part of a cell in the cell matrix and have to do with moving different things around the cell. So apparently the colchicine works with that to decrease the inflammation. Okay, that's as far as deep as I can probably go with this right now. Colchicine metabolism via the liver. So precautions, biliary obstruction, hepatic disease, renal impairment, renal disease. These are all of the contraindications for pretty much like tons of medications, because the liver and the kidneys is how we clean our blood. So of course, something that you're putting into your body and needs to be cleaned out in some way, you're going to risk harming your kidney or your liver if that substance is capable of harming it. So, and then for monitoring, there is no blood test for colchicine serum concentration. You're just essentially watching kidney and liver function in the patients. So, and then as far as like how frequently the physicians are ordering those testing, usually a metabolic panel, which looks at your kidney function, is ordered daily for inpatients, and then liver function testings are pretty much only ordered as needed, or if your primary issue for being in the hospital is liver illness. Things to keep an eye on. All right, so that is it for today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please let me know in the comments what you like to listen to. What are your favorite podcasts? I'm a podcast nerd. I want to hear about it. I want to discover new shows. So let me know in the comments. that, number one. And number two, please tell me what you think about this palette. Also, stay tuned and stick around, you guys, because I have a lot of great fun videos coming up and planned in the queue for you. And I do want to hear what you guys want to talk about. Is there any medical topic you'd like me to cover? Any nursing discussion you'd like to have? And then what makeup products are you using right now? And what are you thinking about them? So anyway, I'll talk to you later. All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend and a great next week. Bye.